Man, welcome back to the Cruise Dynasty podcast. Back at it again. Week's schedule been a little hectic. Life's been going on. Don't have the craft man with us tonight. We told him to sit down and shut up. Really what's happening is it's Thursday. We're recording. Packers are playing tonight. He's watching the Packers. So, of course, I got Swizzy 23 with me. What's going on, man?
Not much. Kraft probably not going to even want to watch this Packers game. Ain't even going to lie to you with the way they've been playing this year, but maybe Christian Watson will go out there and perform for you tonight. I'm definitely pulling for the Packers over the Titans. So,
man, yeah, found a little magic with Christian Watson last week. I can't wait to talk to Kraft, man. I hadn't even asked him about Christian Watson yet. I wonder what he thinks about that shit.
Rookie episode that made me feel good about taking him where I took him in that rookie redraft after he did that.
Yeah, so yeah, man, heck, we'll just see how it goes. Me and Chris gonna break it down. This week's matchups or whatever, we'll just go ahead, break it down, see what's up. But before we do, add the podcast, 5-star review. Add me and Chris on shit. See Swizzy 23, Crew Matt Hamm. But let's just get the roll. I'm gonna hit some news real quick. We hadn't got on all week or whatever. Need to get the people a few updates. I'm sure I won't touch on it all, and I definitely ain't gonna touch on who's questionable and shit like that. I'm just gonna hit on what's going on. So Khalil Herbert placed on the IR, so he's out for at least 4 weeks. Real good path for David Montgomery here on out. What you think, Chris?
I got to see it to believe it, to be honest with you, because, I mean, as much as they run the ball over there in Chicago, David Montgomery has not benefited from it. It's been Herbert and the Fields show. I still expect Fields to be the best running back on the team, apparently. I mean, it's just the way it is.
Right, I'm with you. I mean, I think it does. I mean, honestly, it looked like Khalil Herbert might be trying to take that backfield over, especially with Montgomery, his contract up in the air. But at least this is an offense that's rolling. So yeah. I sent out a little offer, for Montgomery. Of course, it was denied. See, Chris, we in a league where people just still think they buying and stuff. Like some of these dudes need to start selling, man.
I know. I told the craft man that one day at work that I was like, well, damn, man, me and Matt are eating our words over Justin Fields. I was like, oh, God, we eating that one, man. He's the number 7 quarterback right now.
I told Kraft, man, you got to view him like Justin Fields Jalen Hurts last year, except more athletic, just a better prospect, period. Justin Fields might be about to pop. So... next, Dallas Goedert on the IR. Big blow to my squad. I just got done telling Kraft I think Dallas Goedert, and especially I don't know, man, in dynasty rankings, this dude's definitely a top 4 guy, maybe even a top 3 guy. This dude's been pretty consistent all year for the Eagles, and they manufacture touches. That's gonna be a little blow for Philly. But they're saying it's not season ending or anything like that. He'll be back maybe 4 or 5 weeks. So, tough blow for your tight end rooms. But what's the next one? Cooper Kupp. Oh man, Cooper Kupp on IR. Chris, what you think about this one? I'm thinking, the Rams been losing. The O-line's had problems. They might go ahead and shut Cooper Kupp on down for this year, man. What you think?
It's definitely a possibility. I mean, when you got somebody as talented as Kupp, who, I mean, he's 29, going into next year, he's going to be 30 years old. He does play receiver, which is, I mean, let's be honest, it's one of the more baby positions in the NFL. Right. They get to play longer. They very well might. They haven't been looking good. If you would have told me at the beginning of the year that this Rams team was the team that won the Super Bowl, I would have looked at you funny.
Yeah, I think before this year, I was thinking 1 year with Cooper Kupp or whatever, but I told Kraft maybe 4 or 5 weeks ago, I feel comfortable keeping Cup for a whole nother year, I would say, before I would try to
Yeah,
sell him.
definitely.
So if you don't, for your dynasty, you got him on your dynasty team out there. I wouldn't panic. I'd probably try to keep him for another year. Maybe try to sell him mid-season next year when the price is higher. Because if you sell him now, you sell him at a discount. There's no doubt about that. KJ Hamler for Denver about to miss a few weeks. The reason why I bring this up in the news is he's banged up. Jerry Judy's banged up. Sutton's been disappointing all year, but he's going to be the only receiver out there pretty much. So I think Sutton might be a nice little look. I mean, Denver's offense has been terrible all year, man. I saw a report today that Russell Wilson's out there calling audibles like he was playing for Seattle or something crazy out there. Like they out there looking at Russ like they don't know what the hell he's talking about.
Rustin went out there and got paid, and I'm kind of hopped on the train with everybody where they're talking about Russ might be a fraud, man. I don't know.
Man,
I don't know what it is, but he's got weapons. I mean, he's got players over there. They
right.
are hurt right now. I will say, like they're going through a rough stretch right now. Judy can't stay healthy full season. KJ Hamler getting hurt. Sutton is just, I mean, he's not hurt, but I mean, he's just not performing. But that backfield situation's up in the air. Melvin Gordon's done. I mean, Dulcich is probably like the only person on this offense that I would even think about rostering at this point,
Right.
and I probably wouldn't even play him to be honest. Not yet. I have to wait.
Yeah, I think that might be a little I might with depending on my tight end situation, I might would sling Dolchich out there since knowing that they ain't really got much to target. But yeah, Chris, I'm with you, man. I'm thinking Russ might be a fraud too. I didn't believe that for these last few years, but I don't know, man. I things these players are saying about him and stuff like that. Like Marshawn Lynch said, you got to talk to his manager or something just to talk to Russ. He can't even
Yeah, I
send a
saw
guy a
that.
text. Like, what the hell?
Yeah.
And somehow he pulled Sierra. I mean, what the hell? Makes no sense. That money talks, so I guess so.
Oh yeah, you already know it does.
Oh Lord, man. Eno Benjamin released from the Cardinals, then picked up by Houston. I, honestly, I feel like that might be, if just speaking from Eno Benjamin side, that's probably better for Eno Benjamin. I see James Conner got like 96% of the snaps or something last week. Eno wasn't hopping on the field last week. As long as James Conner out there, they're gonna give him the rock and let him tote it. So now that moves Keontae Ingram up at the number 2 spot. In the summer, I said to stash him. He was a nice little rookie. He's got talent. As far as Eno Benjamin goes, I think he might see a few more reps out there in Houston. They've been losing anyways. I would say this might be like a little small hit to Damian Pierce. Like Damian Pierce is still gonna get all the rushing, but instead of throwing out Rex Burkhead every now and then, they gonna throw out Benjamin, which is a huge step up.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. This is a good move by Houston. I could see why the Cardinals did that. I mean, you got Keontae Ingram, Darrell Williams. I can't remember what his deal was that he signed, but I mean, he's hurt. James Conner, as injury ridden as he is, if he's healthy, they're going, the offense is going to run around James Conner in the backfield, run wise. So as long as he's healthy, wasn't really going to get no looks other than third downs anyway. Moving him over there, that gives the Texans another playmaker because I mean, Eno wasn't sorry. I mean, he didn't go out there and just didn't do nothing. He had some good games, but not having to put Rex Burkhead out there, look for them to they'll probably release or send down to the practice squad. Abawale, I don't remember how you say his last name, but he'll probably be released or put on the practice squad. So Rex Burkhead will slide into that 3.
Well, shoot, man. Oh, one more news real quick. Stafford is expected to play this week. Heck, I seen Sean McVay didn't even know if the dude really had a concussion, so I'm not really sure what that. I don't know what was going on with that little situation right there, but shoot, we just gonna break down some of these games right here. We got a little Thursday night football going on. And let's see, we got Green Bay, we got Tennessee, um, Thursday night football. That was the reason why the craft man ain't hopped on tonight. Let's just break it down. We got Ryan Tannehill. It looks like he's starting tonight. I guess I haven't really even heard or paid attention. Um, Ryan Tannehill looks like he's starting. Derrick Henry, pretty much the only player on Tennessee I'm even rolling out there. I don't really want any of those receivers. I don't really want anything in the passing game as far as Tennessee's concerned. If you just want to roll Derrick Henry out there, and that's about it. You disagree, Chris?
No, Derek person you have. Dynasty wise, I think it might be beneficial if you got Traylon Burks with how old Henry is, because we'll have to see how that unfolds down the line. But yeah, Henry is the only person on this team that I feel comfortable going out there with.
Aaron Rodgers, obviously playing him and definitely playing him in a super flex, but I don't know, man. I don't think it's really a bad idea to play him. Streaming if you need a little streaming quarterback, obviously Aaron Rodgers ain't that bad. Aaron Jones, yeah, obviously throwing him in your lineup. There ain't no doubt about it. Lazard, Watson. I would like to know what the craft man is thinking about these jokers. Like right here, Christian Watson scored three. Let me look real quick. That joker scored wide
Yeah, he
receiver
had three
three on the
touchdowns.
week, 3 touchdowns, had 32 fantasy points versus Dallas when their defense is not sorry. They got a pretty solid defense, so
Yeah.
I would definitely take a risk on throwing Watson out there in my flex spot. Um, to me, it's really not even that big a risk. I think he's about to go out there and get targeted 10 times tonight, at least 7 or 8 times. So, Christian Watson, look for him to, I throw him in my flex, and I definitely throw him in my flex over Lazard.
Also, the way that the wide receivers have looked there. Christian Watson, he's had a bunch of drops in his thing. Aaron Rodgers has been, he's as competitive as he is. He's gone out there and voiced his opinion that these guys need to button the fuck up and get their shit together. And looked like he did. I mean, that was something that we needed to see from Christian Watson to go out there, and he did all of that. Maybe he can do it again. I definitely like him over Lazard just because I'm just not sold on this wide receiver core for Green Bay. I think Sammy Watkins has been done. That's even coming. I mean, I'm a wide receiver for you. Love Sammy Watkins. I think you're done. I think you've been done.
He's been done. He's been done for a minute now, man. The talent was
Yeah.
there, and he had some real good years. There ain't no doubt about it. And he was always getting paid. So no matter where it was, where he was going. Yeah, I'm with you on that. Robert Tunyon, maybe toss him in if you have to. I would try to avoid it, but I'm going against Robert Tunyon tonight, so I know people are playing him. Heck, I had to play him last week, so streaming option. It's never a bad idea to throw Aaron Rodgers tight end out there. But we'll just move on to the next one. Chicago, Atlanta. I mean, this offense for Chicago has been going the fuck off. Justin Fields, like Chris said earlier, we eating some. Well, the crew we call it eating tar, but obviously that don't make no sense in real life. Justin Fields has been going off. He's like the quarterback 7 or whatever. We talked about
Yeah.
it a little bit earlier. Montgomery, he gets some little bit of relevance back to himself. I don't think he's the best running back, but now he ain't really seeing no competition. Um, Darnell Mooney, Cole Kmet, now they got some relevance. What man? Let me ask you about this, Chris. Cole Kmet scored 5 touchdowns this past 3 games. Man, would you be looking to sell high, or would you hold on to him?
I'll probably hold on to him with the way that this offense is going right now. But I still think it's just going to be one of those boomer bust moments. But when you have a quarterback like Justin Fields, that's mobile, him having that big guy commit to throw to, I mean, he is going to be his safety blanket in the red zone.
Right.
But I just don't see anybody buying him for that high. That's why I say that. I just don't see anybody going out there and buying high on commit.
Yeah, I'm with you. I mean, Yep, I'm with you. And Darnell Mooney, I think he might be a flex play to throw him in. I was a little bit higher on Darnell Mooney at the beginning of the year, but he's had a few games in double digits. So going against Atlanta, it ain't ever a bad, never a bad matchup, to throw him in there. So Mariota, a super flex play, probably not really playing. You're definitely not playing him in. Stay away from because the Falcons. They looked all right at times. Mariota has that rushing upside, but I would not be trying to throw them out there. There's no passing upside to the squad, none.
No,
So
there's none.
CPAT, I'm definitely throwing CPAT out there. I would. He's like the main guy I want to throw out there is Cordell Patterson. He's their best player if they use him right. The offense actually runs well whenever they run it through him. Drake London, he's a he's a borderline flex play for me. I mean, this dude, he got 14 last week, but I wouldn't be counting on that every week. So, Kyle Pitts, you probably are forced to play Kyle Pitts. You're probably going to be disappointed. Hopefully, they'll manufacture a few touches for him, but that's about it for this Falcons offense, though. You see, Pat, you got to play Kyle Pitts, but other than that, that's it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm the exact same with you. Like I said in the other video, to me, it just seems like the Falcons' offense is run, run, play, action, punt, and it's just not fun to watch.
Hell no.
Not with all these playmakers you got. You got Pitts, Drake London, Daryl Patterson. I mean, even at his age, he's arguably one of the most, you can put him anywhere spot. He positionless player in football. He can play anything, could do anything you want him to do. But
Yeah.
yeah, I would definitely only be rolling with Patterson out there.
Shoot, next we got Carolina, Baltimore, Baker Mayfield back in the lineup. Oh, Baker for your Panthers. Chris, go ahead and tell me what you're doing with you guys.
I ain't playing them this week. Uh, the targets when Baker Mayfield's in the game for DJ Moore have not been there. DJ Moore is the clear cut best receiver on that team, and he is just seems like Baker just does not want to throw it at this dude. Goes out there with a little chip on his shoulder. I don't know.
Yeah,
Uh, Deontay Foreman, I'm not playing because I mean the Ravens, their pass defense is awful, but their rush defense is pretty good.
yeah,
Um, so I'm not rolling with anybody out there. Obviously, if you're having to play Baker Mayfield in a super flex league, you're probably at the bottom of your league,
right.
to be honest with you. I would just stay away from the Panthers offense as a whole this week. Anybody on the Panthers, just stay away.
Yeah, I'm pretty much with you. I think, possibly DJ Moore could be a flex play, but it just hadn't worked out with him and Baker. So I'm with you. I would try to avoid it. Baltimore, Lamar, he's a bad man. Gus Edwards, limited in practice. If Gus Edwards could come back, I would like to play him if I could, but he's still limited. So it's like as good as this Baltimore offense is, you pretty much want to stay away from everybody except for Andrews, and Andrews is questionable. But if Andrews don't play, I wouldn't mind playing Isaiah Likely because he's does pretty solid out there. Definitely caught a touchdown his past two games, so it's really Mark Andrews or nothing for that offense.
Yeah, it's Rashad Bateman gone. I mean, I would consider just match based on the matchup. Duvernay might be a nice little flex play if you have to against the Panthers offense. Gus Edwards comes back. I think regardless of what running back plays, you should play him
Yeah,
against us. Lamar Jackson, he's probably going to have a field day. I mean, we saw what Joe Burrow and his offense went out there and did. I mean, the Ravens offense ain't that stacked, but I mean, Lamar Jackson can carve up a backfield.
yeah,
So I'm looking for this to be probably one of those games where you definitely take the over. Probably we're probably going to get smacked. So
yeah. I'm with you on over. Next we got Cleveland, Buffalo. This game was gonna be in Buffalo, but it was snowing like a motherfucker up there, and I think I heard they moved it to Detroit, so they're gonna
they
go play
did.
in the dome. Uh, so now I would view if with the snow, you're probably like if you were ranking these guys for weekly rankings, you'd probably rank them all a little lower, especially like for passing game wise. Now you rank them as normal. Nick Chubb is obviously in your lineup. Amari Cooper, obviously in your lineup. Um,
Yep.
Peoples Jones, to me, I've been, I say it every time I hop on here with the Craft Man. These guys like Peoples Jones. These guys like People Jones and David Bell. I might would try to grab them on the low for a dynasty play or whatever like that. Knowing that Deshaun Watson's coming back, but that time's coming up soon. So if you're gonna do it, you need to do it. David Njoku, he had a limited practice today. You're playing him if he plays. There's no doubt about it. If that dude's playing, unless you just got one of these, real good tight ends, you're playing Njoku. What you
Yeah,
think,
I'm right
Chris?
there. Yeah, I'm right there with you. I'm excited for Deshaun Watson can now practice with the team. I've been firm on my stance. I haven't been on here talking about my stance. You didn't do nothing wrong, kid. Get out there and go play football.
Yes, man. We need more
Put
people.
this put this shit behind you. Let's say fuck it. Stay out of trouble. You may have a little bit of a problem, I won't lie, but uh, just keep it on the football. I want
Man,
to see you get in there and do good. But this week, now, because they moved it to the dome, is the only reason I am playing Amari Cooper this week. If
right.
they weren't playing in that snow, I probably wouldn't play him. I'd play both running backs easily, Kareem and Nick Chubb, because they're going to run the ball like crazy in the snow. But I saw a graphic today that said they were supposed to get 6 feet of snow in Buffalo, and it was like Devin Singletary's only 5'7". So I was like, that's kind of funny. I was like, you can't even run through the snow. But
That's yeah,
but yeah,
that's
no, with them playing in the dome, they're gonna be playing back to back games. It may not be Cleveland, it may be Josh Allen. He'll be playing back to back games in the dome since they'll be playing on Thanksgiving, I think. But
dang.
in the dome, yeah, I'm throwing Amari Cooper in there. I mean, he's definitely the best receiver on that team. It's just to run first offense. You're obviously throwing Chubb in there. Kareem Hunt probably be an all right flex play. I mean, this Bills defense has been all right, but they've been kind of struggling these last few games.
Right. Um, yeah, Buffalo, you definitely want to throw guys in. I like to try to stay away from that running back room, but Singletary, I feel like you're putting them in your lineup. Diggs, Gabe Davis, you're playing them dudes. Gabe Davis had a big week last week. He's just a boomer bust guy, man. He's the number 28. To me, I honestly, I'm to the point where I would probably try to sell Gabe Davis at times, like when he blows up. If you just maybe get a good offer, he's not a bad player to play, and you can throw him in your flex spot whenever you need it, especially if you're in a pinch. It's hard to just give up on guys that are explosive in these powerful offenses, but heck, I'm kind of the same way about Mike Williams. I mean, those guys like that, they'll go off one week and then they'll just shit a brick the next week. So it's like, I don't know, man. It's crazy. Dawson Knox, I wouldn't even. Mm, I would try to stay
I
away
have
from that
Dawson
one.
Knox on my dynasty team, and I after the season he had last year, I thought it was a good move. This dude has is like not part of the offense whatsoever,
Yeah,
and he's touchdown dependent.
big
But I've since
time.
moved on, and I'm good at tight end now. So
It's like Robert Tunyon was that one year for Packers, catching all of them touchdowns. Uh,
right,
Next we got Washington, Houston. Washington with old Taylor Heineke definitely makes players like Terry McLaurin better. Terry McLaurin plays way better with old Heineken bears out there. I like Dotson. I like when I watch Dotson just play. I know he only had one target. I watched that one target and that one reception. I'm thinking, dang, this dude's good. I mean,
he now if you have Dotson in the dynasty league, like this game, don't freak out over it. He's coming back. He only played 36 snaps out of 84
right?
offensive snaps. He wasn't on the field, but when he was on the field, he was running routes. So
Yeah,
don't let this freak you out. They were easing him back in there. They played
yeah,
good too. That was a really good game.
yeah. Agreed. Curtis Samuel. This says he's the wide receiver 19 on the year. He hasn't really done too much. I mean, Maybe a flex play for you. I mean, just a okay flex play. Hopefully, you got better options than that. Logan Thomas, hopefully you got, how we feel about these daggone tight ends. Hopefully, you got better options than that. But Houston, we every time we get on here, it's Damian Pierce and nothing else. Maybe, well, not this week. Maybe in the future, I might will see how they work in Benjamin. We'll see how that works out. Brandon Cooks, man, listen, I got him in that dynasty league, and where I'm not even deep at wide receiver, and I still don't play his ass. This dude's been disappointing. He's disgruntled. I would definitely try to avoid playing old Brandon Cooks. There's no doubt about it. Damian Pierce or bust for me.
Yeah, I'm the same route until Cooks becomes undisgruntled or anything changes for the quarterback position or anything happens. Davis Mills just decides to fucking become, Aaron Rodgers overnight. I don't know. Damian Pierce is definitely the only way to go in this offense.
Right. Davis Mills maybe a little super flex play for you, but sometimes Davis Mills looks. I watch him play and he looks so good. He makes some throws, and then other times it's just like, good grief, man! I can't even believe you made that decision. But that's just how it is for Houston. Shoot, next we got, let's see, Philly, Indy, Jalen Hurts. They finally just came off the loss, got their first loss. I would be worried about Philly too much, but Jalen Hurts, always in your lineup. Miles Sanders, always in your lineup. AJ Brown, always in your lineup. Questionable though, he's questionable, so you need to watch out for AJ Brown. I know he came up limping. Uh, you know, Basically Philly has a lot of guys you want to play. Devontae Smith definitely goes up, and he gets a boost with Dallas Goddard going out. So yeah, all these guys you want to be playing. Miles Sanders, AJ Brown. I expect for them to bounce back, and expect for these guys to put in some work versus Indianapolis. So, what you think, Chris?
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely not worried even with Dallas Goddard gone. I mean, they're gonna draw plays up to get these people involved. I think they got kind of there was a call in that game where they reviewed the fumble and there was a clear face mask. I mean, I don't know. You call that face mask right there and give them the first down, that game might have ended different, but it's hard for anybody to go out there and be 8-0 the whole season.
Right. I know some of it. I seen old damn Skip Bayless talk about they're gonna go undefeated, shit like that. Like,
That's
you
hard
ain't
to
go,
do.
you're not. It's just not happening in the what you call it. It's not happening in the NFL like that. I mean, I know the Patriots did it, but still lost the Super Bowl, so it don't even matter. But anyways, yeah, the Eagles offense, you definitely playing these guys. Colts, Matt Ryan's back in the lineup. Had a quarterback 5 week last week. Uh, Jonathan Taylor busted out that long touchdown run. I got Jonathan Taylor in a redraft league, and I almost sold him, man. Almost sold him. I held on strong, and here I am. Maybe it's about to turn around. Maybe Jonathan Taylor. I mean, he's been pretty bad all year. I think he's got to, turn it around eventually. I'm thinking he might have a better back half of the year, though. What you think, Chris?
Yeah, I mean, I think so. I mean, this offense, I mean, you're anytime you change quarterbacks, stuff's bound to happen. Fantasy wise though, I like that Matt Ryan's in there over Ellinger. Uh, a lot of people hate Matt Ryan, especially in the crew, but I mean, that dude still is I mean, this dude went to the Super Bowl. He was the MVP quarterback. I mean, let's, give the man some credit. He's definitely at the end of his career, but I
Big
definitely
time.
see Michael Pittman getting a boost from that. Like if you had Michael Pittman still, um, Jonathan Taylor after last year, I mean, you've seen what he can do. You've seen part of the ceiling. I mean, right now we're just going through the floor.
Right.
So
Agreed. I mean
look for
that.
that offense to get back on track. Jeff Saturday, man. He went out there, that dude ain't never coached a college game or any kind of pro game, and he won. He beat he
I
won.
I'm with you, man. Yeah. Offense definitely is going to be run a little smoother with Matt Ryan. But I mean, what they just went through with Ellinger, that was rough, man. That was rough. I want to bring up Paris Campbell. He's been having good success with Matt Ryan's in the lineup. Even last week, the wide receiver 11 on the week, had 20 fantasy points. Philly's a tough matchup, though. Pittman's most likely in your lineup. Jonathan Taylor's in your lineup. Matt Ryan, a super flex. Yeah, you're right. Matt Ryan, he's at the end of his career. If the O line ain't good, it's over with. That little experiment. But the O line for Colts, they've been bad all year. Um, it is what it is with that Colts team. It's time for Colts to go get them a quarterback for the future, something to build upon. Quit going with these old guys all the time. But yep, I say look out for Paris Campbell with that Matt Ryan connection. Might not be all bad. New York Jets, the 6-3 New York Jets going against the New England Patriots. I know we was laughing about these damn New York teams. I still laugh about them. Zach Wilson, I'm not playing him at all. I would try not to even play him in a super flex if I could make it. I mean, you might have to. I mean, when you got to play two quarterbacks, you probably got to. But Michael Carter, he's in my lineup if I can. If I know he hasn't been, he was okay, against Buffalo, coming off the bye. Honestly, going against New England, I'm gonna have to rethink that, man. If I could look for another option, I would try to go another way. But Michael Carter being the lead back, I would roll with him if I could. And then Garrett Wilson, to me, last 2 weeks he's had he had the bye week, but the last 2 weeks he had a wide receiver 11 and a wide receiver 16 performances. And one of those weeks, I would say don't play him against New England, but one of those good performances was against New England. So if you got to throw Garrett Wilson out there in a flex spot, you could do worse. Obviously, he's good from the dynasty perspective, but Elijah Moore, you're staying away. Tyler Conklin is a maybe at the tight end spot, but where you staying with that Jets offense, Chris?
Uh, Garrett Wilson, yeah. He did have that one good game against New England. It's just hard that New England defense. It ain't no joke. They know what they're doing over there. I would Michael Carter, yeah, probably in your lineup, but I mean, I would steer towards like you said, play him if you have to. But if you got something that may look even a little better, I'd probably go with that
Right.
over Conklin, touchdown dependent. And like I've said many times on this podcast, I'm not sold on Zach Wilson.
Right. I'm with you, man. That might be a failed experiment going on. Or, just going to have to see, man. They got some O line problems up there. New England, Ramondre Stevenson is the guy, man. The dude's the running back 10 on the year. That's with the bye week. The streak of games this guy's been putting together 19, 25, 23, 21, 16. Ever since week 3, this dude's been hitting double digits easy. So, Ramondre Stevenson, he's clearly in your lineups, and Jacoby Myers, he's clearly in your lineup. I'm to the point where I'm always trying to play Jacoby Myers if I can, especially with Mac Jones. He might get shut down with the Jets, though, so maybe we'll, depending on where you at. But I always feel like with these bye weeks and stuff, you always have to play Jacoby Myers. So I don't mind playing Jacoby Myers. So nice little PPR game guy. Maybe in half PPR, you might want to steer away from him, but I like Jacoby Myers all right.
Yeah, I like him. I just think that he's going to draw that Sauce Gardner matchup the whole game. And
Yeah.
I mean, when you look at the numbers, Sauce Gardner has been, even the receivers he's had to guard, he has been shutting them down. I mean, that was a hell of a pick for the Jets to make. It seems like all their first round picks paid off this year.
Yeah.
Their first six picks have looked fucking phenomenal. But yeah, I mean, I would still go with Jacoby Myers just with the way that Jets offense is not that great. So, you know, they're not on the
Yeah.
field that much.
Right.
They win games with their defense. So, look for him to maybe slip behind Sauce Gardner there a few times. It's just going to be about whether Mac Jones is wanting to throw the ball or if Ramondre Stevenson's just running it up the gut.
Right. Next, let's move on to Los Angeles Rams, New Orleans Saints, and whenever we talked about the Rams, it was always Cooper Cup or nothing. So basically, or you could play Higby. You might could throw Higby on out there. But Chris, let me just ask you this: is there any player on this roster? We got guys like Allen Robinson, Van Jefferson, uh, that white boy. I don't even know how to say his name. Skowronak. I mean,
Squirrelwack or something.
I see him out
I,
there.
I
So
won't even lie to you. He's probably got the biggest upside out of anybody that you just listed. And I won't even lie. I won't even lie to you. I don't like Allen Robinson out there. They're saying Matthew Stafford's probably going to play. Matthew Stafford has not looked like he did last year at all. Without Cooper Cup, he's no longer got his safety blanket out there.
yeah,
That backfield just looks god awful. I'm
This-
staying away from most people out here. I mean, like Higby, yeah, you could probably roll with Higby, but I'm staying away.
yeah, I'm with you, man. You might could roll with Higby, but Stafford been dealing with that elbow. Now had a little concussion issue. The O line's been bad. The Rams, they might as well just shut it down, man. They're 3-6. But the thing is I see they got a first round pick, but it's not even theirs. I don't know, man. That's just this is just the price to pay when you pay all that to win a Super Bowl. You won the Super Bowl, but this is where you're at this year. Um, it looks like Andy Dalton's starting. When Andy Dalton starts, I like Kamara better. I don't even know if they'll ever go back to Jameis Winston. So Kamara, he's obviously in your lineups. He's the running back 13 on the year, but he's had some poor performances the past 2 weeks. Didn't hit double digits the past 2 weeks, and his next stretch is the Rams, San Francisco, Tampa Bay. I mean, that's a tough matchup from the running back. But if you can get by that, you get to weeks 15 and 16 and go against Atlanta and Cleveland, might be a good playoff play. But Kamara, I don't know, man. He's got some tough matchups on offense that hasn't been doing too good. Well, Chris Olave. I like Chris Olave, but he's been down past couple weeks himself. But no fault. You know how it is. It's not these guys' fault. They just got Andy Dalton. This is more of a defensive team, anyways, the way I view them. But I would still throw Chris Olave in my flex. Kamara, I'm starting him. That's basically where it ends. Maybe throw Taysom Hill in if you're in a pinch for tight end, but I don't really like putting them in, honestly.
I would like to throw a little flyer out there for maybe Juwan Johnson. He's had some pretty good games, but then again, you don't know when they're going to run this to. The tight end wheel with Taysom Hill and Juwan Johnson seems to fluctuate so unpredictably that it's just better to just avoid it.
Yeah,
Um, Andy Dalton, I agree with that. I mean, I think that they'll ride Andy Dalton until they find somebody else. I don't see them going back to Jameis Winston unless they have to. Um, what really hurts for the Saints this year is that the Eagles got their first round pick.
right.
The Eagles got their first round pick. The Eagles are 8-1, so they might get a top five pick
Whew.
this year's draft. I mean, that's insane.
Philly's buttoned
Uh,
up, man. Boy, they've been
but
rolling.
Kamara, really, I'm on Chris Olave, throw it out there for sure. Kamara, but these matchups these next few weeks are not in Kamara's favor.
Right. Yep, I'm with you on that. Yep, I'm with you, and I'm with you on the Jawan Johnson. I would, he's had 2 good weeks in a row. I'm definitely throwing him out there, depending on my tight end situation. So next we got Detroit, New York Giants. My guy David Thomas's New York Giants 7-2. So Detroit, you know how it is with Detroit. I know Jamal Williams been a little sick this week. Um, I say it every time I get on here. Jamal Williams, DeAndre Swift, that little Jamal Williams hadn't been biting me in the butt because I've been playing on both, but I haven't had no choice. I've had to play on both. I can barely put out a roster, and it hasn't really killed me too much. Jared Goff might be a nice little streaming play. Amon-Ra St. Brown had a nice little bounce back week. Wide receiver 8 on the week, had 22 fantasy points, 11 targets, 10 receptions. I like Amon-Ra St. Brown. Um, Obviously he's in my lineup. Other than that, I mean, you know, I think Amon-Ra St. Brown looks good now with what's his name out the tight end going to Minnesota.
Yeah.
What's his name, Chris? That slipped my mind.
Hawkinson.
Hawkinson out of there. So it's like, who you gonna throw it to? Amon Ra's clearly the guy to throw the ball to. As far as Detroit goes, I don't know what the hell they're doing with this backfield. I heard that DeAndre Swift is mad because he's not getting used the way he wants to be used, and I don't really know what they're doing. It almost looks like they're just like tanking or just getting ready for next year, man. But if you're gonna do that, I wouldn't be keeping Amon Ra out there. Uh, I'd be wanting to save him up. So it's like I'm not really sure what they're doing with this backfield. So I can't really tell you. I mean, DeAndre Swift, I got him on my dynasty team. I For the right price, I would sell him, but I hadn't been getting that right price, so I ain't been selling him. I've been getting low balls. You know how it is, Chris, with this league.
No,
They want to
yeah.
low ball me. I would sell him though. I would sell him, but it's not terrible to keep on your team, especially if you're looking forward to next year, anyways. But Jamal Williams touchdown. I'm throwing them both in my lineups, depending on your team. So Swift, Williams, Amon Ra. That's how I feel. I feel pretty good about those three.
I'm in the same boat. I don't know what's going on with this backfield. And DeAndre Swift is probably a back that you probably don't want to disgruntle to have him leave your organization. I mean, I feel like you definitely want that dude to stick around.
Right.
Uh, Amon Ra, I mean, if you're tanking, yeah, I mean, shit, why even risk Amon Ra's health? He's already been hurt. He's already got a high ankle sprain this year. Don't, if you want to tank, go out there and just tank, do it. But other than that, with Hawkinson gone, Amon-Ra St. Brown is that passing offense with DeAndre Swift, being probably that second target. Uh, what's his name? Brock had a touchdown, but I think that just came off a design play from Hawkinson that just ended up happening
Right.
that game.
New York Giants, Daniel Jones. I want to say something about Daniel Jones because I know he's coming out in the contract year. To me, I think Daniel Jones is kind of having like one of those little. He's got like one of those little Ryan Tannehill careers upon him, and I've been taking a dump on Ryan Tannehill, all this year, but he really was solid for. Had a nice little solid career once he got to Tennessee. Was making some moves, making some plays out there for him, and doing what he had to do to win. It's kind of how I view Daniel Jones. I think he'll probably re-sign with the Giants, and I wouldn't, throw the bank at him. I wouldn't want to throw in that big money at Daniel Jones, but I would like to try to keep him at a nice price. And uh, I just respect what Daniel Jones has done this year. The 7-2, he's not out there doing anything great. He's just a little super flex play, but he's 7-2 with old Dabo. Saquon Barkley's pretty much your main option. And I think Wan'Dale Robinson should be rostered on your team. But other than that, it's Saquon or nothing for me.
Yeah, with Bellinger being done for the year after getting his eye damn near poked out in the middle of the game. Uh, that's about it. Wando Robinson. I mean, he steps in fantasy wise. He steps into a great situation. Kadarius Toney is gone. They've had Slayton. He tore his ACL earlier. So I mean, or Sterling Shepard. It was Sterling Shepard, not
Yeah,
Slayton.
Shepard.
He tore his ACL on running a little bullshit route at the beginning of the season. I know he was pissed when that happened.
Right.
Christian Watson just caught a touchdown in this game. So if you play
Dang.
Christian Watson, there's a flag on the field, but he did just catch a touchdown. Um, but yeah, other than that,
Hmm.
I think Daniel Jones ends up staying with the Giants. I don't think they're going to throw the money at him, but I think that they're going to give him enough respectable amount for him to just stay with that organization. I don't really see anybody else competing with that price, even if they're in dire need for one, especially with the quarterback heavy draft coming up.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm looking. Yeah, Saquon Barkley is probably right now is I think Wando Robinson should be in your team. I don't think he should be played yet though.
Right. Next we got Las Vegas, Denver. Look, Chris, I think Las Vegas I think they're tanking. Yeah, I see that Christian Watson played. Man, I don't know, man. I can't wait to bring Kraft on here tomorrow. He's definitely gonna hop on the Friday episode with us tomorrow. I can't wait to hear what he got to say about this guy. 4 touchdowns in 2 games. But anyways, Las Vegas. I think I just think they're tanking. Honestly, I mean, I don't really know what to say about them bums because they'll start off hot, but then it's almost like they're losing on purpose. But Derek Carr is a super flex play. I got him on his team in a one quarterback league, and I've been avoiding playing Derek Carr the whole way. I'm definitely avoiding playing him against Denver. I don't want to break him out against that defense. Josh Jacobs, though, running back 6 on the year, obviously in your lineups, coming off another good game. The thing I see about Josh Jacobs for your redraft league is this dude's been going off, but his playoff schedule for the fantasy playoffs is kind of tough.
Yeah.
So, but either way, I ain't selling him. I'm riding him out and seeing where it goes. Maybe in Dynasty, I would consider selling him because this is the best time to do it. I don't know if you'll ever get a better time to sell Josh Jacobs. This dude is going the fuck off. So you could get a haul for him. But other than that, Devontae Adams, he's in your lineup, and then maybe Mac Hollins, depending on where you stand. He's going to be the wide receiver. He's the second wide receiver on the squad. Moreau might be out there, but Mac Hollins, with Hunter Renfro going down, you might could throw him out there if you just have to. But Denver, on the Denver side though, Chris, with Russell Wilson, I might be playing Sutton in my flex, and I might be playing Dolchich, depending on my tight end situation, but I'm staying away from that offense. And whatever the over and under is on this game, I'm taking the under. That's how I feel.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Josh Jacobs, like the thing, Dynasty. The reason I wish I could get a haul from him in my league. I mean, people just don't seem to want to actually do anything fair. They just want to send you bullshit all day. So, I mean, I'm not moving him. I want to see where he ends up because he's gone. They fumbled this situation. Everything I've been reading about the Raiders, a lot of people are blaming Derek Carr. Derek Carr's had a pretty good career. He's,
Yeah,
not a terrible quarterback. They did go get him Devontae Adams, who he went to school with. Devontae Adams has been disgruntled by this offense. Hunter Renfro going out don't help anything, even though he wasn't really doing anything when he was playing. Matt Collins stepping up's been all right. But Jacobs and Adams is the only two people. If you have them, you're definitely playing them. Just from where you took them, you're having to play them guys. On
right,
Denver, Dulcich, maybe Sutton, because you probably have to. Other than that, I mean, no, none of them. None of them. I don't even want to see this game on Red Zone
right.
on Sunday.
My,
That's
my,
how I feel. I don't
my
even want
thing
to watch this game.
is, my thing is that Sutton, he's definitely not been startable. But him being the only receiver, he's you could just possibly throw him out there today. Other than that, I really wouldn't want to throw Sutton out there, man. That offense has been so bad. I'm definitely not playing Melvin Gordon or any of those guys. So
No.
let's just move it on to the next one, man. We got Dallas. We got at Minnesota. Dallas 6-3. To me, it's kind of under the radar a little bit. They just had a good little, Cooper Rush held them up, but Dak Prescott, he's back. Man, I wanted to say something about Dak Prescott. I guess Jacksonville must be on a bye this week, because I
They
know
are.
we had a big debate one night with the craft man. It was between Dak Prescott and Trevor Lawrence, and I look at them, and these two dudes are dead even. Like they're even right next to each other in the rankings, so it just cracks me up. But Dak Prescott, you're throwing him out there. CeeDee Lamb, man, wide receiver 8. You know, last week's what you want to see from a guy like CeeDee Lamb. That man had 38 fantasy points. He was the wide receiver 1 on the week. Been catching a lot of hate out when I'm gonna be watching this back half of the year because I had CeeDee Lamb in dynasty rankings as the number 3 dynasty ranked wide receiver. I don't really think he may drop down. I feel like his biggest competition, but I'll put it like this. I'm definitely putting him behind Jalen Waddle. But I would say the next it's always between like him and AJ Brown, and they're right next to each other in the standings. So that's just one I'm gonna be paying attention to CeeDee Lamb. I'm glad he had a big week. I got him on my squad. So, but other than that, Schultz, you got his quarterback back. Schultz is healthy now. I'm most likely throwing Schultz out there no matter what. I am throwing him out there no matter what.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I went and traded, got me Schultz. I needed a tight end. Schultz has been Dak's guy that he just loves to throw the ball to him. CeeDee Lamb. I mean that kid, he's so good, man. I mean he's so good. He runs routes damn near perfectly. He's in a great offense. He fits this offense really good. The backfield situation is Ezekiel Elliott. He says what I'm reading is optimistic. He's thinking he's going to play. I'd honestly avoid playing Ezekiel Elliott this week.
Yeah.
He may come back limited, but like I've said before, I mean, I just think Pollard's the better play back there.
Yeah, why you say that? His last two games, he's been the running back 4 and the running back 8. You can ask the poor man. He's been saying Pollard's the best running back for 2+ seasons now. So you know, I'm with you. I would love to play Pollard, hoping Zeke is out. If that's like if you got Pollard in your roster, because if Zeke's
Right.
out, I'm for sure throwing Pollard in.
Yeah. And definitely he's probably a top 10 running back if
Right.
uh if Zeke is out.
Agreed. And on the Minnesota side, I seen Jefferson's been a little banged up. I would expect him to play. Uh, you know, this is my thing about Minnesota. They just come off a big win, and now they're about to play the Dallas Cowboys. I'm just wondering if their offense is going to have a little bit of a letdown because the Dallas Cowboys' off defense is pretty stellar. They got a nice defense, so I wonder if this offense is going to take a little dip this week. But Dalvin Cook, you're playing him. Jefferson, you're playing him. It's about where I stand. I mean, Thielen, he's the wide receiver 32 on the year, and he gets targets, but he needs touchdowns, and he's not really getting the touchdowns. He's only got 2 touchdowns on the year. I would play him if I had to, depending on the situation or whatever of my team, but I would definitely avoid playing anybody else other than Jefferson and Cook right now.
I would probably throw Hawkinson in there because I mean these last few games that he's played, I mean he's getting the targets
Oh,
in
Hawkinson's
these
in your
games.
lineup. There ain't no doubt about that.
Yeah, and after
Um,
the way that was my favorite game last week, the Vikings to Bills. That game was so good, man. Oh my God.
that grab,
Justin Jefferson, you are
ooh,
fucking insane, man. I mean, they already flew the equipment that he wore from the game out the cannon to put it in the Hall of Fame.
that
I
man,
mean,
Justin Jefferson, is so good, man. Seriously, man.
yeah, it's crazy.
Chris,
But it's going to depend on whether or not they're going to have to design plays to move Micah Parsons. You cannot let Micah Parsons be getting back there to Kirk.
yeah.
Otherwise, this offense is going to stall.
And Kirk Cousins, he does bad in prime time. This ain't really a prime time game, but still a big game. So but I don't know, man. This Vikings team, I like what they're doing, and I've always liked Kirk Cousins, but even I've admitted the dude sucks on primetime games. Big games like this, the dude don't play good. But there was something else I wanted to say about these guys. Hawkinson, must have just slipped my mind though. But yeah, I'm clearly throwing Hawkinson in there. There ain't no doubt about it. But shoot, we'll move on to the next one. We got Cincinnati, Pittsburgh. Um, Jamar Chase still out, so I'm playing T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd both. Heck, I in a super flex league I'm in, I got them both in my lineups. I've been playing them both. Period. But Joe Mixon, he's the running back 7 on the year. His last game, he had 55 points. He scored fucking what 5 touchdowns, 1 receiving, 4 rushing. Man,
Yeah,
if
that
you
one game
going
definitely padded that stat for
yeah, if I
sure.
that not a better time. There's never a better time to sell Joe Mixon than like probably right now. I would sell Joe Mixon if I could. I know my brother's got him, but I don't think he's getting any offers for him because it's just we're in a tough league. People are buttoned up. I mean, might could throw old Joe Mixon at somebody like David or Jordan, and they'll probably bite. But you know, Joe Mixon, I've been kind of fading him this year. But the thing is, I go and look at him, and dang, the dude's putting up fine numbers the whole way through. So then had that huge game. I guess my question is, Chris, is are we about to see more of this, or are we just gonna see? I mean, I'm not saying not more of this, like 55 fantasy points, but more of like just better production. Period. Like they're gonna start trying to, get the run game more involved.
I mean, I definitely think they should.
Yeah.
Regardless of whether or not it happens, it's still up in the air because I mean, to me, I mean, Joe Burrow wants to throw that ball before they want to run it. Anyway, with the weapons he's got, which I mean, if with Jamar Chase being out, you still got T Higgins and Tyler Boyd out there, and I mean, they ain't no pushovers.
Nah.
Joe Mixon can catch the ball out the backfield, but I mean, Joe Mixon can run. I mean, he did all that against Carolina, and yeah, we're bottom team in the league, but I mean, our front four, they ain't pushovers neither. Then he was
Right.
just running them over. I mean, Brian Burns and all them, there's decent players, and he was just running them right over. I think that he may have a good game against the Steelers. TJ Watt's probably going to be a little bit of an issue here.
Yeah.
They just got to keep Joe Burrow protected in this game.
I think Hayden Hurst is a fine play. I'm playing him this week. Dallas Goddard went down, so Hayden Hurst is my guy for a little while. So, quarterback on a tight end on a good offense. I mean, roll him on out there. Kenny Pickett's out there. He's a super flex play. I'd probably try to avoid it. He's the quarterback, 28 on the year. Najee, though, man, this dude, I think it finally came out that he's dealing with knee discomfort. I've been saying, he had that little Liz Frank sprain at the beginning. I've been saying this dude is hurt a little bit. Now, his fantasy production was clearly going to go down because you're not going to get all these dump offs like that you were getting from Big Ben.
Yeah.
But the O line's been bad. Najee, to me, dynasty wise, Najee's a buy low candidate. That's how I see it. But for this year, man, you gonna have to cut your losses. This dude, even Jalen Warren, he's starting to. I'm not saying he's on the field for 43% of the snaps last week. So I think they're going to be trying to get him and keep him involved a little more. So you know, that's a backfield that I would like to stay away from, but most likely you have to play Najee. So
Uh-oh.
that's it's tough.
Depending on where you were at, you probably took Najee in the first or second round, so you're probably stuck playing him this year.
Right. Uh as far as the rest of these guys go, George Pickens. Look, I like George Pickens, especially from a dynasty perspective. He had 14 fantasy points last week. I would try to look another direction. Uh Deontay Johnson, he gets a lot of targets, but it just for whatever reason it ain't working. I would try not to play Deontay Johnson if I could. I don't want anything to do with that passing game unless it's Fryermuth. To me, Fryermuth is a fine tight end. He don't. He put up better numbers at the beginning of the year, but I'm throwing in Fryermuth. I'm probably playing Najee. Other than that, I kind of want to stay away from the offense.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I think eventually you'll want to start playing George Pickens. Dynasty wise, I think it's definitely a good pickup if you have him, but I think it's just to wait and sit because, like we said before, this Pittsburgh offense is pretty buttoned up. So, I mean, Tomlinson ain't gonna let them go out there and just get away with whatever they want to do. He's gonna have them in line, and this offense is gonna start running.
Right. Uh, Next we'll hit on Kansas City and the Chargers. I look for Kansas City to blow them out. I've been watching the Chargers. These dudes ain't been playing good to me. They're 5-4, but Pacheco, McKinnon, Clyde. How you feel about that backfield? I know you got Clyde, Pacheco. Clyde didn't get any carries last week, I don't think.
Clyde
So
dropped. He had two targets and didn't catch either single one. He dropped the goose egg. I think Clyde's time's done. Isaiah Pacheco's going to be the way to go. And even if you're going Isaiah Pacheco on a matchup basis, I think he's still only a flex play just because of how high passing this offense is.
right, Juju. I know. What did I say? Juju. He missed practice. I would expect him not to play after the way he got knocked the fuck out.
Yeah,
Um,
anytime, as I said before, anytime that the arms posture, the way that they postured in that game, it can be indicative of a brain injury, something that could be very serious if not treated.
right.
Second impact syndrome can kill you. Um, but I mean, this was the first he got out there, but Juju, maybe don't be going out here doing all these TikTok shits because you did it against the Bengals that one year and they blew your ass the fuck up. I don't know if you did it this game, but that dude did hit you pretty hard. I don't know.
I see Miko Harmon's on the IR. So Kadarius Tony's a nice play this week. So he had
Yeah,
a touchdown last week. He put together a couple good highlights. Kelsey, there's nothing more to say. That dude's probably going to go off. There's not really much. He's going to be the main guy, so he's probably going off. Herbert, I've been saying it all year. I think he's a little banged up. He hasn't really put up good numbers all year, but he hasn't had his weapons either. Eckler, running back one still. So, and Eckler's got a nice schedule for these next 4 weeks. So, but as far as these receivers goes, I think I saw Mike Williams and Keenan Allen were both doing drills. I think they're both questionable. I would just try to stay away from this offense, but I would play Gerald Everett if I had to at the tight end spot. But I would still want to look other places. But other than that, it's pretty much Eckler right now. And then I would play Josh Palmer. I know I was calling Jordan Palmer a few weeks ago. Josh Palmer going against this Kansas City defense, I'd probably play him. So
yeah, I'm in the same route with
it
you.
in the flex spot. So
Yeah.
yeah. Anything to add to that, Chris?
Well, we are talking about. I was watching Kadarius Tony run those routes. I mean, he knows what he's doing out there. It's just now we're finally getting to see him play. So hopefully
Hey,
it'll continue with Miko Hardman gone. He's going to get the opportunity. And I know you've been saying that you think that they view him as the future over Juju and all of them. So I mean, I could definitely see that.
yeah, definitely think
Uh,
they're,
J-
taking that team in a different direction.
Herbert clearly hurt. This dude's definitely hurt. He ain't had his weapons. Austin Eckler's going to continue his dominance because I mean, as of right now, he's really the only player on the team.
Right. I mean, that pretty much sums up that game. All right, man. One more game and we'll just start wrapping it up. We got San Fran going against Arizona. Kyler Murray, see, he's limited. He was limited on Thursday. I think he's probably going to play. Either way, me and Kraft, we was on the phone and he was asking about starting somebody. I can't even remember who it was. And I told him, I was like, Kyler Murray ain't gonna play. Colton McCoy's gonna be, and he was like, I don't think that matters. So, it was James Conner. He was saying it don't matter. Uh, which he's right. It really doesn't matter. So, James Conner's gonna get the play no matter what. He's gonna get every carry. He's gonna get every snap. He's the guy, especially with Benjamin getting on out of there. So, D Hop. Obviously, you're playing D Hop. He's been going off. 3 out of the 4 weeks, this dude's had double digit targets, and it's been 14, 13, and 14. This dude's had double digit receptions 3 out of the 4 years, 3 out of the 4 weeks. So you're playing him, even though San Fran's got a good defense. You're clearly playing D Hop, and you're definitely expecting him to go off. I guess the question is Chris. I guess the question is, Chris, are you willing to throw Trey McBride in? Zach Ertz is done. I should have put that in the news. I don't know if Zach Ertz is out for the year. Is that right, Chris?
Yeah, he's done. He's done for the season.
So
He went to go get a second look. Second look told him the same thing. He's done.
okay, so Ertz
Uh,
is out.
I don't
Uh,
know. They did design a lot of plays for Ertz, so I mean they definitely still have from. But depending on who plays, if Kyler Murray is banged up, I don't think that they should even play Kyler Murray. I think that they should just wait it out if you don't want him to get hurt.
right. Uh,
Um, James Conner, I'm playing him this week in the flex play.
yeah. Yeah. And I seen today Hollywood back to practicing. He's obviously not playing this week, and I think they're on a bye, so you might be at down Hollywood. So you might be down Hollywood for a couple weeks, but look for him to, uh, it'll be good to have him back, especially he was in the top 5 before he went down. So, but this
Yeah.
San Francisco offense, right here, I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, dang, this is getting all jumbled up in there with all these guys. Debo's back, and let's see, Christian McCaffrey, Debo, Elijah Mitchell got a lot of carries last week. We're talking about he had 18 carries, so I'm thinking this is it's a tough offense to. I mean, you're probably playing every one of these guys, and it's just tough to figure out what the hell they're gonna do. So, CMC, Elijah Mitchell. I'm thinking they might be in some sort of committee. I mean, Elijah Mitchell's always looked good when he plays, so there's going to be some sort of committee. I did see CMC was getting the goal line work, stuff like that. So you definitely feel good about that. But even Debo, he still had 4 carries. You know, it's. I'm just ready to see it another week. I want to see it again for another week. Before I start making all these declarations, but you know, it's
Yeah, I think that if you went and got McCaffrey and then you saw that he got traded to the 49ers, I mean, I think that you should know that with the way Elijah Mitchell played last year, this dude's gonna have a role in that offense.
right.
He's gonna have a role. Christian McCaffrey did get the goal line work, but the thing about Christian McCaffrey is shit, they could sit a receiver, you know, on a
Yeah,
play, throw Christian McCaffrey out there and have Elijah Mitchell in the backfield. It's just what's crazy about an offense like this, they got so many mouths to feed that it can be a little volatile playing these guys, even though I feel like you're probably stuck playing all of them.
right. Yep, I'm with you. Yeah, I mean, it's just tough. I just kind of just want to see how it goes. Because it almost looks like, I was just kind of surprised to see Elijah Mitchell get all those carries last week. Debo, it's crazy. I mean, it's just like this is just one of those offenses where you're playing all these guys. You might even be playing IU. So
Yep.
it's like there's like 5 guys that you could put in on this lineup, but the thing is with Kyle Shanahan is he's gonna get his guys the ball, and I feel like all these guys are gonna touch the rock. Debo's still gonna get his touches, so it's I don't know. That's all I can say is I don't know, and I can't wait to watch it again another week.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I got to see what's going to be going on with this offense. They got a lot of mouths to feed. I want to see if they keep them fed.
Right. So, but hey, from a football standpoint, you gotta like San Fran. You gotta like where you at. With all these guys, you're 5-4, and you need to get this win right here versus Arizona. In LA's already don't, but you got. I mean, what's Seattle's record right now? I know they just finally lost, or they lost Tampa
Was it
Bay.
7-4 or something like that?
So you got to catch up to Seattle right now. So San Fran, they went out to make the moves, and that's just gotta like where you at. But shoot, man, that wraps up this week. Our schedule's been hectic this week. Probably gonna be hectic next week, man. We got Thanksgiving games. I'm gonna be with family. Shoot, Craftman's gonna be with some family, I bet. Chris, you gonna be with some fam next week, man.
Yeah, definitely.
But heck, I'm gonna be in Griffin a little bit, so I don't know, man. We might have to hop into headquarters and do a little recording or something. We'll have to just see what's up, man. I don't know how next week's gonna look, but before we sign off, add the podcast, give us a 5-star review, add us on Twitter, share it, tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a hoe. Chris, you got anything to say to these people?
Yeah, man, just hit me up on Twitch, Swizzy23. I'm trying to get in my new place right now. Once I get over there, I'm gonna be bringing out content. I've already been putting some hours into God of War. It's amazing. If you're into that kind of shit, I'm gonna have the content out there for you.
Yep.
If not, we be on the 2K grind. Come get your ass whooped at 2K.
Man, maybe one day I'll get back into playing some games, man. I'll play some Madness or 2K. Man, when that college football game drops, though, you know I'm gonna be on that shit.
I'm definitely on that.
So, but
as
shoot,
soon as
man.
they open pre-orders for that, I'm pre-ordering that.
Man, I really can't wait till they drop that one, man. But shoot, man, yeah, the Crap Man will be back on tomorrow, and we'll get out some of them good Friday episodes. I don't know what we're gonna talk about yet, but it's gonna be good. That's all I know. But that about sums it up. We out.